Hey guys, it is on screen, off screen again with another episode. I am gonna have Josh go first with whatever this is.
It's an anime. The Eminence in Shadow.
Okay.
Basically, I'm having some solo leveling withdrawals. I wanted something epic. This is actually the second time I've watched season one, and the first time I'm into season two. The premise of this is I am a character, and this guy in the very first episode, his whole goal is to become the Eminence in Shadow. So he wants to think of himself as a background character in his daily life. So he underperforms. He basically wants to become like so like forgettable and such a loser and everything that nobody would expect him to become this Batman essentially. So he's at school, everybody makes fun of him, treats him like crap, XYZ, whatever. And then one of his schoolmates gets kidnapped, and he puts on a mask, and, he's basically this martial artist guy. And he goes and he rescues her, right? And it's got this really cool fight scene between him and these thugs. And the episode ends with him getting hit by a car. And then episode 2 starts where he wakes up with all of his memories from that life as a baby in a new life where there's magic. So he still has the same goal of becoming the Eminence in Shadow. So like he goes to school and he's like, I picked these friends because they're the exact right fit for a background character in a game, because they're not named characters. They're just these loser guys who are kind of in the background of shots, or will sometimes have some one-liners in a game or a show or whatever. And then he meets the princess, and basically he lost a bet to these two friends where he has to go confess his love. And he's like, it's the perfect chance to be a background character because she's just going to reject me. And so he goes and fake confesses his love, expecting to get rejected. And she says yes. And he's like, no, when did I enter this rom-com? And this is not what I needed to happen. But turns out she was just kind of like using him. So it still kind of worked out. But it's him kind of like trying to have his regular person persona be this absolute loser face who gets wrecked, right? So they have sword fight training and magic training and all this kinds of stuff. And he's like out of school to become a knight kind of a thing, but he's thought of as like the most basic, boring, worst fighter at the school and all this kinds of stuff. But he keeps getting like sucked into these bigger communities and stuff. And that's all we know so far. Now, there are things in it that make me think it's more lit RPG than it's being let on. So there's like matrixy things, visuals that happen from time to time. So I think he's kind of like in a simulation or in a game or something. And we just haven't figured that out yet. But yeah, it's a very enjoyable show. It's got great humor. It's got some really good fight scenes. I'm still dying to know about like the first episode, because it's one episode. They've got like this whole situation where he puts on this mask and saves this girl, and like it seems like more important, because otherwise why wouldn't you just like have him be in the magic world with episode 1? Why do they have him in the regular world for episode
Like
1?
character building to me.
Yeah, but like you could just like say he has all these memories from his past life.
Seems like showing it would be a little bit more impactful.
But it's an entire episode.
An anime episode that's 20 minutes long. Like, I don't know, it didn't
Still,
seem like that big a deal.
I think it's more important. I don't know why. I think it's more important. than
Okay.
it is. Um, but yeah, I'm like halfway through season 2. I'm absolutely enjoying it. No, it's not as good as Solo Leveling. No, it's not as good as Frieren. No, it's not my favorite anime of all time. The biggest irritation I have with it is it's actually not on Crunchyroll, it's on High Dive. And their player absolutely sucks. It's garbage. I, as a very amateur web developer, could do a better job than whatever that mess is. Because it sucks.
It's just
It
terrible.
is terrible. Yeah.
What's so bad about it?
So if you go to the website,
Yeah.
there's these things that you do when you're developing a website where you like have these animations and things for like when you're hovering over a button, it'll like move so you can see that this one's selected. Very often there are 2 options, and one is blue and one is white. And that's it. And it swaps when you move between the 2, but like on your TV remote, that doesn't necessarily tell you which one's on it. Especially if you're on the left and you press left, it goes to the right one. So it doesn't help you figure out which one you're actually selecting. Autoplay is not a thing. It doesn't remember your history. So you basically have to go back out, search for the show, pull up the show, remember what episode you just watched, press play on the next episode.
That's terrible.
It's awful. It is truly, 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 truly dreadful. And it's like, seriously, people? Like, I know you are nowhere near the size of Crunchyroll. And this is basically your only show that keeps you relevant. But, like, basic web development here. Basic
Really,
stuff. Yeah. Make a better web player. My other irritation is they only offer yellow subtitles. I hate that.
Weird.
Yeah.
Why not just white?
I
figured it
don't
would just
know.
be white.
I don't
That's
know.
weird.
Most shows are white, have white subtitles. Most web players have white subtitles options. And like Amazon, they let you like pick the size and the color if you really want to. This one's like just white. It's terrible, so I always have it turned off. And it, like most of the time doesn't matter very much, except when your character's like reading a message, they don't read it out loud, and it doesn't display the text in English for me to understand what's on the note or what's in the text or whatever. So I'm just like, must not be that important.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to go through that pain to watch this show, but it sounds pretty good. Honestly, it sounds like a good show.
Oh, it is. It's totally worth watching. If they just got like autoplay to work, it would save so much effort. And like sometimes it does work, to be fair. Just sometimes it doesn't. And like for me, where I'm like watching at my computer while I'm working on a project, or I'm watching in my bed on my projector, or I decide to lay down on my couch and watch on my TV. It means that every time I move somewhere, I'm having to search it again. And typing with a remote is awful. So, but it's a good show. It really is. It's worth a watch. Like, I would say watch it. It's good. It's really interesting. The humor is good. It's not just like action, and it's not just romance, and it's got a great balance between the two. And I like it.
Cool. It sounds good, man. I was going to actually say this for next episode, but I found out Solo Leveling is actually a lit RPG. I think I've talked about it Royal Road before, but Royal Road is a website that you can go, and they have a bunch of amateur writers that start writing. Primal Hunter was started there. Dungeon Crawler Carl was started there. Mother of Learning was started there. I've read a ton of novels on there. And Solo Leveling was started as a lit RPG in Korea on something called Manuk Manupe, something like that. And it's literally a Royal Road in Korea. Like it is a little RPG website for
Menu pie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Menu pie. Yeah. That's what it's called. Um, and then it got transferred over to a manga, and then it got the
Mauha.
yes, and then it got the anime treatment. But I think that's pretty cool. It's like
That's super
literally a
cool.
lit RPG. I think
Yeah.
it's cool. Anyway, we'll go to my topic. I'm gonna do from Justin to Kelly first.
Okay.
This is a bad movie.
Yeah.
It's just not a horrible movie. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't deserve the 1.9, but you were gonna give it like a 7, and it doesn't deserve that either. To me, this is very much on the level of like teen Disney movie, but like I think your representation of High School Musical is very good. I think it is very much just on the level of High School Musical. High School Musical is not terrible. It is watchable, but it's not good. And that's kind of what I think with this show. The acting is all decent. The writing, some of it is really bad. My hair won't even fit through there. And then she goes, "I'm from Texas. I've seen bigger." Blah, blah. No,
That's
no,
funny. That is funny.
it was not
That's
funny. It was
funny. Yep.
cringy and it was dumb. And then you find out that the guy's the waiter, and everything stops. Like, oh no, he's a waiter. There's no way they could date because he's a waiter. It's pretty stupid. Um,
That's. I'll fight you on that one too. Actually,
oh really? I thought it was dumb.
there are a
Like,
million clips out
terrible,
there.
but dumb.
There are a million clips out there
Yeah.
of somebody asking women saying something like, "Would you date a barista?" And all of these women saying no.
What age?
All ages.
All ages. I feel like if there was a cute waiter, that the girls would date him if they were like young college ages.
Only if after they found out like they're in school to be going towards engineering or something and they're just paying their way through school. Right? Like I get it. They did over dramatize it, but it's like kind of true at the same time.
Girls watching this, would you date a waiter? And like you vibe with him, you like him, you think he's attractive. The second you find out he was a waiter, would it be like, nope, I'm done. Nuh-uh, I'm not even gonna ask more questions. Oh no, he's a waiter. I don't know. What do you think? I'm curious. Um,
Nobody's going to admit to that, and you are over dramatizing your reaction to that.
that's what it felt like in the movie. I think the blonde girl does a really good job with it. She plays Erica Marsh in One Tree Hill.
Hmm.
That's who we couldn't figure it out last time. That's who she's in. She does a good job with that. Something I didn't like about the show that I feel like dragged it out is you have Kelly Clarkson, and she is so against this like culture of partying and being involved in this, but it starts the show with her just grinding on random guys, and that's like the song that she's singing is about grinding on random guys, but then she's just too objectified if she goes and she parties. And you have this mix of like she's supposed to be innocent and be the innocence that's in those kind of shows that kind of brings the innocent charm along with all of this sexiness, and it's not evenly split. It's not well done. So you don't get the cute charm of something like a she's all
She's all
that.
that.
Yeah, you don't get the cute charm of that because that's a very similar kind of movie. She's all that has some of the sexiness moments, but you have the charm that evens out the tone of the whole movie. Where this one, it feels uneven. Am I wrong on that?
I agree with your premise. I disagree with your feminism comment
Okay.
because she's not against partying, right? Like she goes to the party, she goes to parties. She got dragged to spring break. She was expecting to go to parties. She brought up the feminism stuff when it came to like whipped cream bikinis and like objectifying women directly. And I do see a distinction there. I agree with you on premise that like they don't do a good job of balancing the innocence plot and her making an innuendo with her saying like I've seen bigger in Texas, you know, and like she does like the innocence thing was definitely not well done, but like she's never in the show against partying. That's the part that I disagree with.
Okay, that is fair enough. It's it's a pretty enjoyable enough movie. There's like a couple other things. Like there's the part where the nerdy kid gets pulled into playing volleyball, and I'm literally looking in the background. I'm like, six pack, six pack, six pack, six pack. There's another one, and you're gonna pick the nerdy guy who has his shirt tucked in and his big old glasses. Nope, no, you're not. That's stupid. You don't even know this kid. There's no way. Kind of dumb. Um, I think this show shouldn't be rated as low just based on the music. The music alone should raise it higher because the songs are very good. I actually like the first song wasn't my favorite. The rest of the songs I really really enjoyed, and they harmonize really really well together. Justin should have pushed singing more because he's very good, and he's even better with Kelly. Kelly, they sing together and they mesh well together vocally. The chemistry on screen, I don't really completely think is great, but it's not terrible. It's good enough. The chemistry as far as vocally is great, and it deserves like a 4 star just for that. That's kind of my thoughts on From Justin to Kelly. I'd give it like a 5.4, something like that. It's just above. Like it's decent. That's what I would call it. It's decent. It's not a terrible movie.
I agree with everything you're saying. I think critically, you are absolutely right. I just think at the end of the day, it's more enjoyable than that. Even though it's bad, you just enjoy the music. And like I want to bring up the way they did the blonde girl Kelly Clarkson Justin like combination with like Kelly actually treating her like garbage the whole time. Like, did you at least notice that, see that, and give it credit for that?
Yeah, yeah, definitely
Yeah.
for sure.
So
I
like,
think at the very end she wasn't like, "I don't want you in my life anymore because you suck," which would have made me like it a little bit better.
agree.
Actually, I thought that was kind of a disappointment towards the end, but at least they did make her just suck.
Yeah, but like, so for me, I gave it a 7 because like critically, it's bad. It is
Yeah.
objectively a bad movie. The writing is not great. There's a lot of cheese to it, but songs were very enjoyable to great.
Sounds really good.
Dancing, not so much. I'll give you credit for that. The choreography was not great. But they have this thing that at so many shows have tried to do that thing where girl is jealous of other girls, so she tries to steal man. But I've never seen it done better.
Um, it is done well in this. Like she is very conniving. She does a good job of doing the conniving thing while appearing innocent and nice. And you like understand her motivations for it's pretty shallow, like being liked and being loved and blah 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 blah. But I was also looking at it like Kelly, it's so easy for you. You just have everything so good. And I was looking at her and I was like, you are extremely hot. I think things might be a little easy for you, and I think that you're whining a little too much because you are very attractive. And it kind of made me. I like if she was on a similar level of attraction to Kelly, I would actually buy the movie more. But she is just significantly more attractive. She's very good looking.
I agree with you, but that's not the point. The point is she wants genuine human connection. It's not that it's hard, it's that people just look at her as the hot party girl, which does
Yeah.
make me buy it more, right? She's not saying it's hard to get guys. She's saying it's hard to get guys who actually see me.
And don't just want me because I'm a party girl.
Yeah.
And then, but with that premise, you have to buy that Justin and their connection actually makes a lot of sense. It's like she has that moment where she's like, I thought I knew him. I thought he was charming and funny and wonderful. And I was like, you talked in a bathroom for 2 seconds and made a joke about Texas. Like, that's all you know about this guy. That's it. And I know you let it go because it's a little bit hallmarky, whatever. But that's all. That's all you know. You don't know if he's a good guy. You don't know if he's a bad guy. You know nothing.
I agree with you, but at the same time, I have seen younger college, high school girls have that kind of reaction to guys.
That's true. I have to.
So it's not like unrealistic or anything, right? She met with this guy,
Yeah.
she had a good vibe with him, she felt this connection. Yes, the writing is bad, but the premise isn't bad.
Terrible. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Fair enough. Anyway, that's kind of Justin and Kelly. Um, I'll do my review of our shared topic because it kind of connects with what my other topic is. Um, Oklahoma is a bad musical. It's not very good at all. I There's a lot of problems with it, like a lot of problems. I thought I liked this musical, but I like some of the music in it. I don't like the musical. Um, they have Jed is Dead, and Jed is Dead is one of the worst songs that has ever been written, and I hate it. I hate it completely. I'd never heard it before. Sid loves this musical, and she likes it now less because of all the things that I brought up. But I looked over at her and I was like, "Is he convincing this guy to commit suicide? Is that like what's happening?" And I legitimately didn't believe that I was watching that. I thought I was missing something. And there's no real reason for it yet. Like this guy isn't. I don't think it would be a good song regardless of what they did. But this guy, they haven't talked about him being a criminal. They haven't talked about him being a creep. They haven't talked about him being anything. He's just a guy that's a hired hand and kind of a loner. That's literally all you know about him. And then your main character, who's supposed to be the main love interest, goes in and tries to convince this guy to commit suicide in one of the cringiest songs I have ever seen in my entire life. And no matter where you go with the musical after that point, we have to buy that we want this guy to end up with this girl. And there is no world in which I want this guy to end up with anybody because I now don't like him. And you can't really change the fact that I don't like him because he sang that terrible song. Yes, Jed is. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to jump in with my 2 cents here.
Yeah.
I think it's made way worse because after that happens, we have the main girl's acid trip.
It's terrible.
Yeah, which is an awful part of the play, hands down. But then she wakes up, and Jed is just a nice, good guy.
Yeah.
So our main character is painted as like this jealous, controlling, terrible person, and this guy who's just happens to be kind of lonely is actually a good guy,
He's just a little bit of a lonely, awkward person.
but is just a little bit awkward and is treated like total crap because of it. Now, in the end, they try and make him a bad guy, but at that point, it's too late. But go ahead.
It is too late. That's where I was going to go with this next. Literally the points that you were making, because Jed, I usually hate the whole villain is treated like the bad guy thing. It very, very rarely works for me. I love Wicked. That's a huge, huge exception. This one doesn't mean to make me feel bad for the villain, but I do. Because I'm like, Jed probably wouldn't become this person if somebody would just give a crap about him and not try to sing him to commit suicide. Like, and yes, they try to make him the bad guy. They try to have her, like, basically assault the main girl, which is a problem too, and it makes you not like him either. But then you have the issue of not liking anybody because you have the cowboy that came back from winning the $50, and he's just kind of a slimy person, and you don't like him. And the girl that he's going after is kind of a cheating hoe bag, and you don't like him. The main character is somebody who tries to get somebody to commit suicide, so you don't like him. The girl that he's going after, for some reason, wants to play hard to get in the weirdest way ever. I don't really understand it. So you don't really like her, but you don't hate her. She's fine. She's fine.
Oh, I hate her.
Oh, I don't hate her. She's fine to me. Why do you hate her?
Oh, because she's like, I don't want no man. I don't need nobody. And then she goes through an acid trip. And then because the acid trip painted a different guy as a bad guy, she wakes up and she's like, I'm in love with Hugh Jackman. No,
So,
you're not. You just were terrified and was like, not this guy. So this, like, no, that makes Hugh Jackman her rebound, fallback, safety net. And it's like, no.
I watched both versions, so I watched the Hugh Jackman version and I watched the original movie, which I'm going to get to that in a second. But the original movie is the structure is a little bit different. Like she's going with him to the ball when he tries to kiss her, and she runs away with the horses to the box, whatever it's called, the box social, and it makes it so it's a little bit more of a smooth process. Where this one, I'm like, you just had the bidding war, where he bought your box, and now you're on a date with Jed, who you don't like. What are you doing? This makes no sense. In the other version, it's a little bit better, and I think it's acted a little bit better, so you can tell that she feels like she's playing hard to get, but really likes him. Where in the musical version with Hugh Jackman, I'm like, do you like this guy? What's going on? And it doesn't flow nearly as well. It is better in the movie version that way, but still not good. Like even though they changed it a little bit, it's better, but still not good. Where else was I going with this? Some of the music I do really like. I think some of the music is good. The Cowboys and Farmers Should Be Friends is very like Barney song, but I actually kind of liked it, even though it's very Barney song. I'm Just a Girl Who Can't Say No is kind of a terrible song, but I honestly liked it. I enjoyed that song. And I like the Oklahoma song that is pretty famous. Now that brings me to the movie version. And I told my wife, I literally was watching the movie version, and I was like, damn it. I have to admit Josh is right. I don't think Hugh Jackman is a Broadway level performer. I think you are right. And I hate saying that, but I do think that. The guy who plays in the movie is so much better than Hugh Jackman. It's not even funny. He like blows Hugh Jackman out of the water, with the exception of the Jet is Dead song that I hate, that I think Hugh Jackman does a little bit better. But everything else, the other guy is just better. Hugh Jackman is outclassed by Jed in the deep baritone kind of voice in the songs where they sing together. Jed does a better job. And I was wrong. And I hate that I was wrong, but I was. I still think he does a pretty good job in this, but he's not a Broadway level talent. Nope.
Okay.
I was wrong.
So I will jump in there.
Yeah.
So I had to force myself to watch Oklahoma. I got to the Jet is Dead song and I turned it off. And I tried to find a different Hugh Jackman musical to watch so that I could compare and talk about that.
Yeah.
Because the play sucks. It is just terrible. In terms of stage tech, sucks. Normally I'm like, stage tech is at least cool. No, it's terrible. I don't think Hugh Jackman does a good job. I think his voice at times is okay. but like he was very stiff and uninspiring with his movement, I guess is how you would put it. Where everybody else who's out on the stage is out there like giving it their all and performing and making Hugh Jackman look even worse with his acting skills. Right? And I hate saying acting skills because they're when he's not like singing and moving, he actually is a great actor in the play. There are a number of times where I was like, man, he killed that emotion. He absolutely nailed it with that. But like anytime he's having to sing and move, it just like kills me. I'm like, he can't do both at the same time. He just cannot do it, much less anytime he needs to dance or do anything more than just walk it. So, yeah, we talked about it last time. I wanted to ask, at what point do you think Hugh Jackman's name played a role in him getting a Broadway role?
I don't know. He wasn't a big enough name for this one, obviously. I I mean, was he really a big name before he played Wolverine? I can't think of anything
Okay.
else that really made him big.
So that's what I wanted to bring up. So he did Kate and Leopold first in 1999.
Yeah.
Then this X-Men one came out in 2000. He was not on Broadway before then.
Oh, he wasn't.
No.
I thought wasn't this 19 something?
This was 1998, but it was not Broadway. It wasn't even Australia's top performance. So we're watching Oklahoma, which is Australia's off-Broadway. And if you want to take it even further than that, Broadway and London's West End are thought of as like top-tier English theater, and nothing compares. And below that, you would have the top-tier Australia Sydney Theatre, and below that, you would have Royal Hall, where this is filmed and produced and stuff, which I would put as like higher than Hale Center Theater, but I wouldn't put it anywhere close to saying Broadway level production. So he was on Broadway 2007, 2009, and 2011, way after the first and second X-Men.
And I think that his name got him on Broadway.
I'm not saying it got him on Broadway solely, but like played a role in it.
Played role in it.
Then yeah, that's where I wanted to go with that. But since you agree with me now, and we agree Hugh Jackman is not a Broadway talent,
He's not.
we can move on.
Yeah. So that led me to watching some other things with famous people who are on Broadway. And She Loves Me is one of those things that I watched. I didn't really love the first third of this movie.
Kind of slow.
It was super slow. Like so slow. Slow enough.
Okay, hold on, time out.
Yeah.
It's not as slow as the first third of Oklahoma. Continue.
Oh, I struggled more with the first third of this show, actually.
Oh, Oklahoma's way worse.
But I was watching it, and I was like, you know what? Zachary Levi's doing a pretty good job. He's doing good enough. And about a third of the... actually, for me, when it really pivotally changes is when they have the dinner scene, where Zachary shows up, and they finally have the meeting. From then on, I really enjoyed the musical. Before that, yeah. Zachary Levi does a very good job in this musical, but he is also very much Zachary Levi in it. So, like, I don't know if he'd do as good or work as well in other musicals where he had to play more of a different character. I feel like he was just Chuck, like the character that I've seen him play in everything every single time. But he does a good job with the singing. He does a pretty good job with the dance. Like, he does a solid enough job in it. And I overall liked the musical. I also was a little disappointed with the end. It kind of just ends. But overall, pretty solid. Second half, much better than the first. Yeah, and then the kid is fantastic. He's my favorite part of the whole musical. I love the kid. The song that he sings where he's trying to convince them to get the job is my favorite song in this musical, easily. It's not even close. But yeah, I liked it. Thank you for showing me it. The other ones that I went into that were famous people that were on musicals. It's hard with musicals because you don't have a lot of recordings of the musicals. So you have to get bootleg versions, you have to get illegal to be able to find anything. And I found parts of other musicals, two standouts for me, or three. One, Daniel Radcliffe is fantastic. Like, he's really good. And I watched an interview with him where he's like, I look back at my earlier years with Harry Potter, and I really sucked at acting. And there were a lot of things where I really wasn't happy with the way I acted, but people seem to like me, so that's good. But if I had to do it over again, I would do a way better performance than that. And I appreciate that he was somebody who literally had so much money he would never have to work again, but decided to devote himself and become better. He's in one right now that's called Merrily We Roll Along, and I got to watch a decent amount of it. It's very, very good, and he is absolutely excellent in it. Really good, like much better than either of these other performers. Much better. Sheldon, he doesn't do singing, but I watched part of of a play he's in, and he is also fantastic, like really good. But he doesn't sing, so kind of pulls it out of the conversation. And the one that surprised me the most was Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal is fantastic, like really, really, really good. He plays George in the Park. George Sunday with George in the Park. It's based on that pointillism painting where you have the woman, she's wearing the bodice with the umbrella. You know what I'm talking about.
It's a very old musical.
Yeah, I've always loved that painting, and I didn't know that this was about. I found pointillism fascinating when I was a kid. Just somebody who literally did dots and they created that. Blew my mind. And this musical is really good. Like it's a good musical, and Jake Gyllenhaal is just great. Like I thought he was a good actor. He has some of my favorite performances. He is underrated as a singer. He's underrated as an actor. He's just great. And all of those, every single one of them, was better than Hugh Jackman in this movie.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman is he's not a very good performer. He's better than me, for sure. Like, yeah. He's far better than I could ever do, no matter how much training and practice I did. He's just not very good, and like he never earned a spot in my mind to play a lead musical role, much less a lead musical role on Broadway. He's just not good enough in my mind for that. I've got a very high outlook on the type of performer that should be, and he just doesn't measure up to it. As for Zachary Levi, I think he's about the same, maybe slightly better, just because he can sing and move at the same time. But like beyond that, not very much more impressive. I agree with you. The first third of that is really slow. I think the first third of Oklahoma is also really slow. Oklahoma, like, even at its most surface value, is a guy in love with his second cousin. And at its worst, it's a guy in love with his cousin. So there's that. It's about Hugh Jackman pining over this girl who treats him like garbage. It's just not good at all.
So I think that they call her Auntie L just because that's like what she's known by. Like people will be like Mama Jen or whatever, Grandma Donna, whatever it is. Like there's people that are just known by that. I don't think it's actually his aunt.
It's Oklahoma. Like it takes place in Oklahoma. I think the probability that she's actually his aunt and her aunt is pretty high.
But everybody calls her aunt, which is possible that the whole town is connected to each other. Who doesn't call her Aunt L?
The peddler guy, and Jed doesn't.
I thought Jed did.
Not
I
in the
couldn't remember if
musical
someone read
version.
it.
Maybe in the movie version, but not in the musical.
Okay, interesting.
Because I was thinking
That's
about
a
that
little
the
creepy.
entire time. I was like, could be your cousin.
I
In your
literally was like,
defense, could be your second cousin too. But like,
I was like, that's just her name. That's just what she goes by. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I don't know. But no, it's not very good. And you want the I Want song to establish some kind of character growth, like trajectory. What are we doing? And they don't even really have that. Like, there's no what do these people want? I guess their cousin. I
yeah, it's
don't
just
know.
like the pacing is really bad. Like we've already talked about how she like does this. Motivations are just awful. You have nobody that you root for in the show. Like
No.
honestly, the thing that made me the happiest was that the peddler got some other chick pregnant and she was just more annoying than Annie. And you're like, serves you right for treating people like such garbage. Um, I was very disappointed in the guy Annie ends up with because he very clearly defines a boundary and is like, cross that line and I will leave and you'll be left with nothing. Right? There's a whole song about it. And I'm like, yeah, my favorite character. Heck yeah. And then she kisses the peddler right in front of him.
Which is so cringe. It's so cringy.
Yeah. And then
What
he's
the
like,
hell?
okay.
Yeah, he's like, whatever. It's all good.
No, you just told her, cheat, do whatever the heck you want, keep hoeing around because my
Then
boundaries
I'm
don't mean
gone.
anything. Yeah, it's. You literally root
Oh,
for nobody in this play.
and then you had he like, Jed wants to kill Curly. And so he's like, can you get me one of those things that you look through and there's a knife? How in the world does Jed know about this thing? How does Jed know about this? Jed would not know what that is.
I don't
There's
remember
no
him
way.
asking for it.
Yeah, that's how he wants to kill him at the end, is asking for that thing. Where he basically
Right.
just looked at.
But he found it first, right?
No, that was.
The one
He asked
guy
for,
had brought it back from wherever, Kansas City,
yeah.
and then he's trying to get his $50, so he sells it to Jed. Jed discovers that it has a knife, and then he asks for the thing to have Curly look through it.
No, he asked for it way before he discovers it. Like, way before.
Okay, I don't remember that. I just
Yeah.
remember thinking, like, how's that supposed to work? He's looking through it, and the knife folds out like this.
I
So
thought
how
that
is
too.
that even gonna do anything for you, dude?
How's that going to stab him in the eye or anything? Yeah, I thought that too. I missed it the first time that I watched when I watched the musical version. I missed it. When I watched the movie, I was like, how would he even know what that is? He's a dumb country bumpkin. Like, how would he know what that is? He wouldn't. And then I thought about the knife going off the side. Okay, cool, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, like I said, I had to force myself to go back to it. I was literally trying almost anything to not have to finish it because I was like, this sucks. Like the music, I don't really like very much. The opening Oklahoma song is pretty good, and there's a reason it's so famous. Why is this play so famous? I don't get that.
Now that I've really seen it, I don't either. Other than it's just really old.
I've heard people call it their favorite musical, their favorite play.
I have too. Freaking crazy.
You like, aside from the pacing just being bad, like I specifically want to call out her acid trip and how weird and out of place it was.
Yeah. And it is so much worse. Like, so much worse than the movie version. That's an area where the play version is vastly superior. The movie version,
How?
it's so much worse. Like, it is so bad. The movie version is so bad.
How is that even possible? Because she literally smells her smelling salts, right?
Yeah.
Which she smelled earlier, so it's not the smelling salts. And then things are happening where she's getting attacked. And you're like, what the freak is going on right now? And then she wakes up and you're like, I guess that was an acid trip because they did a color change. And then Jed walks up and is a nice guy. And you're like, what the freaking...
The movie version,
What the crap?
he smells the smelling salts, and then like everything gets hazy, and like she's having some kind of trip, and she runs into another version of herself, which is another actress that looks blonde, but that's about it, who's supposed to be her. And then we watch her dance, and where we're supposed to pretend that she is the one dancing the entire time, and it gets into some Alice in Wonderland weird ass shit. And the dancing like isn't good. It's weird as hell. They're like doing the chicken dance, and it's terrible. Like, it is terrible. And then it's over, and you think, how did someone invent this? How did this happen? And it's not like, I think some of the dancing in the theater version is actually pretty good dancing, even though I don't like the scene. I think some of the dancing is pretty good. None of the dancing is good in the movie version. It is all bad, and it's all like weird. It's weird. It's bad. It was by far my least favorite part of the movie version.
But
Now,
it at
speaking
least
of that,
communicated effectively that she was having an acid trip and it wasn't real.
I kind of got that she was having an acid trip with the theater version too, to be honest. But that's me, because she's even singing about it being a dream, and the color scheme changes, and you have the wind that's moving and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not good. I'm not gonna say it's good, but the movie version is worse. It is significantly worse. I did like the movie version of the girl significantly better. I found the main girl for the theater version to be really annoying. Some of her high pitched notes were like aggravating to me. I didn't like it. The other girl's better.
I think in terms of performances, right, like the weak link is Hugh Jackman on stage. I think everybody else varies from like, oh, pretty good, to like really good for the type of stage that they're on, right? Like it's off Broadway. It's not Broadway. It's not off Broadway. It's off Broadway in my mind. So like, since they're on that kind of stage, they do a pretty good job for what that is,
I agree.
And I think like the girl Annie, even though I hate her character, I think the performer does a great job.
She's by far the best performer, or best performance by far.
Yeah, I think it's her, and then it's tied between Auntie and Jed. Actually, I think they both do a really good job for the type of stage that they're on.
I agree. I like the guy who comes from Oklahoma City maybe a little bit better, but
he's right. He's right there too. I'd put him right in that kind of mix. Rank them however you want, but like those three are kind of like together, and then you'd have like the main girl, and then you'd have everybody else that was on the stage, and then you'd have Hugh Jackman.
Okay, I would rank Hugh Jackman a little bit lower, or not Hugh Jackman. I would rate the main girl, a little bit lower. Her high notes really did bug me. Like I didn't like it.
Right, but like she's in the conversation with the peddler. Did she really do that much worse than the peddler?
I think the peddler was better.
I don't think so.
I do.
I don't think so at all. But
that's just me.
But he also got a lot less singing and dancing time. He was a lot of a talking character and was just on stage less, so.
That's true. But Oklahoma, don't recommend it to anyone. It's not good. It's not worth your time. Don't understand why it's so popular. It is a musical that feels old and should die.
It is a musical that is just bad and should have never been famous. I do not see a time frame where this should have been successful. Genuinely. Like, it is just bad. Plain and simple. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I get the Oklahoma song being as famous as it is. I get some people saying, like, oh, hey, I like this song or that song. But this should have never been popular. This should have never become famous as, like, a thing,
Shouldn't have popped off.
right? Me, as someone who's new to musicals, should not have been hearing about this musical since I was like 8.
Me either. Yeah, you hear about it. There's one that you definitely hear about.
Yeah. It's like Oklahoma, Les Mis. Those are like the two biggest. Wicked right now, and like since then, Hamilton.
Yeah, like I would put up there, but
Phantom, sure.
it's up in these conversations, which is crazy.
Yeah, but like, really, truly, honestly, I hate this. I hate that I'm about to say this. I would rather watch the movie version of Les Mis than watch Oklahoma ever again.
Me too. Easily.
I hate the movie version. I hate it so much.
I don't hate it. I think it's okay. To me, it's okay. There's parts of it that I like. There's parts of it that I don't. It's okay.
Eddie Redmayne, his friend, and the girl that he friend zones are the only good things in the movie version. Everybody else was only hired because of their name. All their performances sucked, and the Santa scene was just unnecessary and garbage.
I agree with the Santa scene. Most of them do a bad job. I don't think they do an atrocious job, but they do a bad job. You're also missing Hugh Jackman's daughter in it. She's good.
She does a pretty good job. Yeah. But she's like in the conversation where I could see that she got it because of her name.
Yeah, I could too.
But it's also pretty good.
It is pretty good, and as much as I don't like Mamma Mia, I really don't like Mamma Mia. She is a good singer.
Yeah,
she's a good singer.
she is. So is Anne Hathaway, but her performance is still terrible.
Her performance is terrible.
Right? And yes, there's the Sideways video that explains it, but that doesn't write it off for me. I don't give it points back because the conditions were so terrible.
It's still just bad.
It was still just bad. And I think an actual Broadway performer, even given those conditions, would still do a far better job. Far better. So, yeah, I hate Les Mis, the movie. It's terrible. It's like a 3 out of 10 for me.
I don't. It is in the range of like, I think that's decent, but I don't want to watch it. But if you wanted me to watch it with you, like if you were like, all I want to watch is Les Mis, I'd be like, okay, sure.
But why not watch a better version?
I would suggest that, but if you're like, I just really want to watch the movie version, I wouldn't be like, nah. I'd be like, yeah, sure. It's fine.
Okay.
I can watch it.
I would almost agree with you. Like, I would be slightly below that if it wasn't for the Santa scene.
You just hate the Santa scene that much?
Yeah. Like, it's complete garbage. It's unnecessary. It comes out of nowhere. It doesn't fit the tone of the movie. It doesn't fit the tone of the play. It is a director who's clearly screwed up in the mind and thought, this will be funny. No, it's not funny. That is disgusting. It's awful. You already have real adult themes and things to talk about with this play. Why are you adding porn?
Doesn't really make a lot of sense to it.
No, it's like I truly like that is the biggest negative in the movie for me. Like, I could get through everything else. Genuinely, if I was sitting on your couch and you were like, man, I just really want to watch this movie, I'd be like, okay, but they added that scene. And so because of that scene, if you, same situation, I'm sitting on your couch and you're like, man, I just really want to watch this, I'll be like, okay, if you do that, I'm going to leave.
Okay. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. All right, guys. I think that is our episode. We appreciate you watching. Are there any other really famous people that are on Broadway that are fantastic? I would love to know. I will watch whatever you guys recommend with that. Um, I've heard a few others that are supposed to be really good. Haven't checked them out yet, but I'm going to. Um, anyway, we appreciate you guys watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. See ya.